The recent crossover event of DC Night Terrors was a brilliant move to showcase the inner fears and conscience of the DC characters. The new villain, Insomnia, had put most heroes and villains into an eternal slumber to find the Nightmare Stone hidden in their nightmares by Dr. Destiny, who was killed first by the new villain. The series also showcased several obnoxiously powerful entities who were way more powerful than DC had ever shown. One such was the Pentapriest, shown in the nightmares of Commissioner Jim Gordon. So without any further delay, let us begin today's marvelous video, where we will be exploring the Pentapriests in detail and unfolding the mysteries behind their existence. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you, and let's begin. The fifth-dimensional Pentapriests. Dark Gods. The fifth-dimensional Pentapriests were showcased in Dan Watters' Night Terrors Detective Comics Issue 1. Known for contributing most of DC's complex story arcs, Dan Watters illustrated the Nightmare Realm with Commissioner Jim Gordon as well. As for Commissioner Gordon, his worst nightmare is Gotham sinking into the abyss of evil. If there was anyone apart from Bruce Wayne who loved Gotham City despite its bad weather and recurring turmoils, it was Jim Gordon. And the issue showcased Gotham City sinking into the abyss of darkness. Unlike other Night Terror spin-offs, the issue did not showcase how Jim succumbed to Insomnia's spell or where he was when the event happened. It simply began in a dreamscape. The story began with Commissioner Jim Gordon drowned in remorse and a sense of guilt for failing to save Gotham City. It was July, but the city was covered in snow, and Jim Gordon could be seen walking across the city to his son's grave, who was once a criminal. However, he soon gets a message from his daughter Barbara, worried about her father's health. Jim was amazed at how Barbara managed to get in touch with him in his times of despair. Jim Gordon was also shown to have an adopted son, Sorrow, who loved pizzas. That night, when Jim returned home with pizzas, Sorrow showed no interest, stating that someone would be changing everything and at present no Batman was there to save the city. Sorrow left the apartment with Jim following him. Meanwhile, 3 members of the Good People of Gotham group have summoned an unknown entity. Following Sorrow, Jim arrived at an abandoned building where the 3 masked individuals had summoned a powerful entity, Pentapriests of the Fifth Dimension. The Pentapriests were shocked at being summoned, but showed interest, stating it was fun after the eternal boredom in the Fifth Dimension. Now, DC had previously explained the concept of the Fifth Dimension and its characters as beings capable of existing out of the space-time continuum. One such was Mr. Mxyzptlk, whose primary power was being able to change reality. As the spine-chilling entity arrived, the 3 good people of Gotham began addressing the Pentapriests with their heads bowed down. The first one stated that they had summoned them by the sacrifice of memory and the clock of pentaprismic mystery, only to help them save the city of Gotham. The 3 of them requested power, wealth, and knowledge as the means to save Gotham. The one who asked for power quickly transformed into a ghoulish creature whose face was in the shape of Batman's cowl with a big eye in the center and a bat emblem on the chest. Just as Sorrow jumped to stop him, the creature blasted Sorrow to dust before Jim Gordon. The creature was about to target Jim as well before another member intervened. Jim was left sobbing with Sorrow while the creature took to the streets to use his strength to protect the city. In a few days, numerous ruthless murders were reported and they were the creature's doing, so Jim tracked him to stop him. The creature was ruthlessly impaling thugs, and when Jim shot him with a gun, of course, it had no effect. Jim tried chasing them, but suddenly his legs began to crack and he fell to the ground in pain. The Pentapriests hovered over him and asked if he was amongst the ones who wanted the wishes. Clearly, Jim was not one of them, but they somehow affected him. Like most fairy tales with free wishes, which eventually brought doom, this was also the same. The Pentapriests tricked the good people of Gotham by twisting their wishes, and to start with, the one who wished for power transformed into a hideous monster. During his confrontation with the creature, Jim had asked about the members of the group and what exactly made them perform the ritual. The creature revealed one of the names to be Angelica, and it did not take much for Jim to figure out that it was Angelica Vanderbar. Jim arrived at Angelica's penthouse and stormed in through the doors. He demanded to know how to send the demons or the Pentapriests back to where they came from. However, she was all silent. Soon, diamonds began pouring from her mouth, and she died before Jim Gordon after choking. Jim found a letter near her where Angelica had written every event from the day they planned to execute the ritual to her suffering after her wish. It all started after a lady in a mask shared her plans of summoning the Pentapriests to fix Gotham City. Angelica believed Gotham could be repaired with a constant cash influx, and she joined the Masked Lady along with a man named Mortimer Blake. Mortimer was a man who believed Gotham could be fixed if he ruled with an iron fist, and hence he was the one who wished for power before the Pentapriests and transformed into a hideous creature. It was clear that the mysterious lady in the mask initiated the entire event, and while the two of them were revealed, Gordon was yet to know about the third and the final member of the good people of Gotham and the outcome of her wish. Gordon's next move was to track down Mortimer Blake and stop his rampage across the city of Gotham. The next scene then shifts to the creature who was causing a rampage on the streets of Gotham, planning to make a quiet place by eradicating the homeless and the scum from the street. As he saw a car approaching, which was driven by Jim, he fired his blasters at the car, exploding it. Jim barely managed to survive, to which the creature stated that he needed to be careful next time. He added that in a city like Gotham, collateral damage should be acceptable. In a surprising turn of events, Jim revealed his name, Mortimer Blake, and added that he knew his address and his wife's number as well. Asking Mortimer to calm down, he stated that he had brought his wife and 2 children with him in the backseat of his car to calm him, which were then in flames. Mortimer rushed to the burned car to find his family, and that was when Jim activated the self-destruct, which exploded with Mortimer. Mortimer was dead, and Jim took his revenge for killing Sorrow. Soon, the Pentapriests arrived before Jim, stating that they were only left to see what the last good people of Gotham would do with the gift of knowledge. Jim demanded to know who the person was, to which the Pentapriest said that she was a part of Jim, clearly indicating it to be Barbara. Meanwhile, Jim's fractured skin began wearing off in different places. When he reached Barbara's residence, she was on the ground, broken in half. Like her father, her skin also began fracturing and breaking apart. She stated that she had slipped, which ended in breaking her in half. Barbara could not stand witnessing her city sink to ruins, and hence planned to call these bizarre genie-like creatures from the 5th dimension and get a chance for Gotham to survive. It all began after she found a clock of pentaprismic mystery in the dark web, which is stated to be an interdimensional artifact capable of granting wishes. Although she knew that in such cases, the results were either futile or catastrophic, she chose to take one last chance to save her city. Soon, the Pentapriests arrived before them, with Jim yelling at them to fix Barbara. The divine deity stated that they found it rude when someone would not appreciate their gift or send them cards. But Jim had a different point. Barbara had wished for knowledge, which had no reason for making her brittle and fragile. However, the Pentapriest stated that Barbara knew why it happened to her and Jim, to which Barbara agreed. It was not revealed exactly why the father-daughter duo had become brittle, but he can assess that both of them had realized that life was fragile. Barbara confessed to her father that she had found the interdimensional clock in the dark web, which stated that it could make a dream come true, following which she began executing the plan to summon the Pentapriests. The Pentapriests stated that there could be a way to take their gifts away, and when Barbara broke the interdimensional clock, the Pentapriests commanded the dream to end. Jim found himself waking up from his sleep, and it was the end of the Pentapriests in this series. How powerful are the Pentapriests, the Dark Gods? The Pentapriests are from the 5th dimension, a place native to beings of infinite power. The dimension existed outside the DC universe, where no concept of mortality existed. The magical beings from the dimension were called imps and were defined as nigh omnipotent beings capable of traveling through time and hypertime. Although the limits of the imps' powers vary, they all could penetrate third-dimensional space at any level and control it. Characters like Mr. Mxyzptlk, who were introduced as a goofy prankster, time and again being fooled by Superman into saying his name backwards, and being sent back to his dimension, are from the 5th dimension. Later, after DC Rebirth, the story revealed that the 5th dimensional beings are responsible for preventing the multiverse from dying. There were some malevolent imps, while some benevolent ones, but that mostly depended on their mood. The Night Terrors series was the first to establish the horrifying nature of these beings. They claimed to be in boredom, and the summoning was more of an amusement to them. They tricked the 3 good people of Gotham by granting twisted versions of their wishes. There is no doubt that these beings possess an infinite amount of power and could remove any character from existence in the blink of an eye. Marvelous verdict. So we have finally come to the end of our video, and we hope you've liked our content. Although the Pentapriests appeared to Jim Gordon in his nightmare realm, they might very well exist in the real world of the DC universe and could be one of the new threats to DC. We will be concluding our video, and feel free to add your views in the comments section. Stay tuned for the next Marvelous video.